Hapo ndio nakwambia ukimwi haiwezi patikana hapa kwa vile hao watu hukula samaki sana.
Either they deliver or they get out.
Uhuru Kenyatta may be a product of dictatorship.
Even if they elect any official, those are bogus officials.
Kamodo is a hired mercenary as far as I'm concerned.
Inside my conscience is very clear.
These men from heaven are not men from heaven.
Controversial.
The building belongs to Kanu, period.
Revolutionary.
I'm giving women liberty also to marry younger people.
Entertaining.
I'm very sorry. I didn't check the minister's socks on that day.
Up close and candid.
The issue whether the streets of Nairobi require lighting is not debatable. What is debatable is how stakeholders should go about lighting up the city. Until a few years ago, lighting up of the streets of Nairobi and its main highways was the sole responsibility of the Nairobi City Council, a task they did poorly until a businesswoman, Esther Passaris, came up with a concept to involve the private sector in providing light where there was darkness. Her initiative saw companies, corporate and individual, embark on an advertising for light campaign that realized the rehabilitation of streetlights, which had for years remained dead for lack of financial resources from the local authorities.
A project like this one and many others that we're looking forward to do complement the government's objectives of providing a sound fiscal structure which will enhance a conducive environment for sustainable economic growth.
Passaris' company, Adopter Light, is now getting the flack for winning a 3 billion shillings a year contract from the Nairobi City Council to solely light up the city and manage the city's entire outdoor advertising revenue. Despite the outcry from outdoor advertisers, Passaris has received full government backing.
I've proposed a company jointly owned by the council and Adopter Light, and this company will be expected to carry out the activities of lighting up the city.
The transparent thing to do is to invite tender bids from all interested parties to express interest. Then normal pre-qualification and procurement procedures be followed.
If you check the agreement, there's no monopoly. So whoever is talking about a monopoly doesn't know what he's talking about. If there are people in my ministry compromised, please give them to me. Tell me, give me the facts, and we'll deal with them firmly and immediately.
At City Hall, the joint deal between the Nairobi City Council and Adopter Light is said to have been unanimously passed by all councillors at a full council meeting. The project allows the two entities to form a joint company to install streetlights in the city and share the proceeds. Out of the 3 billion shillings a year revenue, the Nairobi City Council will receive only 20% of the money. The plan has ignited a controversy with politicians and advertisers criticizing the move. There have been claims that councillors were cajoled into approving the multi-billion shilling city lighting project. A group of councillors claimed they had been coerced by local government minister Musikari Kombo and an assistant minister Minor Commander to vote for the deal.
The first special meeting was called on 5th. We did not attend because we requested the council to submit to us the contract document for this partnership. Now, after we failed to attend the meeting, another meeting was called on 7th. And we were coerced to attend that meeting.
If we keep quiet, another one comes in and goes the same, and another one, and another one. So why we are fighting this now is to make sure that these things, this darkness that has been in City Hall will now be over.
Tukiwacha Adopter Light ichukue hii, basi sisi kama watu wa Nairobi tena wa Kenya, nawahakikishia kwamba tutapoteza haki yetu.
But a second group has come out strongly to support the move and threatened to organize demonstrations if the project was interfered with. It may now seem that City Hall is averse to competitive bidding, a trend the government has in the past been keen on getting rid of. Questions being raised about the deal have to do with transparency in the selection process. Was there preferential treatment given to adopt a light? Is corruption creeping back at City Hall? Queries have also been raised about the ownership of the idea to light up the city streets. Does the concept belong to Esther Passaris, as is widely believed? There are claims that the concept has been in the works since 1996, but had not taken off when Passaris took it up. The Nairobi City Council has dismissed the opponents of the deal, saying it is under no obligation to explain why it chose to single source for this noble project. As it is now, Esther Passaris and her company Adopt a Light will carry the day, with the rest of the outdoor advertisers being hired by her company.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of Up Close and Candid. I'm your anchor, Mushiri Wahome, and to all our Muslim viewers, Saumu Makbul. Tonight, the operative words in this program will be contracts and tendering procedures. The issue is the multi-million shillings contract awarded to Adopt a Light by the Nairobi City Council to collect revenue generated from outdoor advertising and to use the same to light up the city. The move has caused all sorts of sentiments within the stakeholders who are reading various sentiments with regards to the awarding of this deal. The question is City Hall playing by the rules of the game? I am glad to have in the studio, again, I believe he was here last week, the Honourable David Mwenje, Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Security and Local Government, and indeed, as he says, the longest-serving Member of Parliament in Nairobi, and representing the constituency with the most voters. Welcome.
In the world.
In the world? I doubt that. I doubt that. I'm also pleased to have Esther Passaris, Managing Director, Adopt a Light, whose company has just closed this deal with the City Council. Karibu.
Thank you.
I'm also pleased to have with me for the first time, we've been trying to get him to this program since he was elected, the Honourable His Worship the Mayor, Dick Wadhika, Mayor of Nairobi. And can I say happy birthday to the two of you for tomorrow?
Thank you.
Happy birthday tomorrow. Yes. Esther, let's start with you and maybe just explain what is this partnership deal vis-a-vis the creation of a company?
Well, we had an arrangement for the last 2 years aimed at basically putting street lights. And we had to go back to the drawing board because we realized that the objectives of the partnership were not being fulfilled. And between the two of us, we realized that the best way to light up Nairobi would be to form a joint company and spearhead the revenue from advertising, try and get it boosted up, and then channel that revenue without affecting City Council's operational duties by denying them revenue, channel that revenue to street lighting.
And how does that work? Because in terms of shareholding, etc., etc.
In terms of shareholding, I mean, there's this perception that Adopt a Light gets 80%, but it's a joint company. You know, when we collect the money, it goes into a special escrow account.
Yes.
And then 20% is given to Nairobi City Council for other functions.
Yes.
80% now is dedicated to street lighting, of which the mandate would be to dedicate at least 40% towards installing street lighting infrastructure, 20% to cover the overheads that City Hall currently has to deal with, salaries, electricity, maintenance. Capital expenditure as well. And then 20% is where now we would probably share the 80-20 percentage. But we're still discussing that. But the general idea is that City Hall basically walks out with 80% because the infrastructure, if you look at 40% of that revenue going into infrastructure, then you've got a situation whereby City Hall has already got 20% neat cash, 20% in infrastructure, 20% in overhead, which currently they pay. They pay the bills for electricity, they pay the salaries, they pay the beautification.
They do.
Exactly. I mean, they do have their financial strains, and this is aimed at boosting that revenue.
Yes.
I mean,
and this is where